This book is called Truman, and it was written by Jean Reedy. What I really love about this book is that when you open it up, it looks like one big picture. All the illustrations were done by Lucy Ruth Cummins. Truman was small, the size of a donut, a small donut, and every bit as sweet. He lived with his Sarah high above the honking taxis and growling trash trucks and shrieking cars and the number 11 bus, which traveled south. See Truman? He's right up there in the window. Truman never honked or growled or shrieked at anything or anybody. He was peaceful and pensive, just like his Sarah. Do you know what pensive means? It sort of means cautious. One day, Sarah ate a big banana with her breakfast, clipped a blue bow in her hair, and buttoned up a brand new sweater. She strapped on a backpack so big 32 small tortoises could ride along in it. But 0 tortoises did. Sarah placed 7 green beans in Truman's dish, 2 more than usual. Can you count to 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She kissed her finger and touched it to his shell and whispered, "Be brave." Then she left. Not to worry, she'd left before and she'd always returned. But this time, that backpack was particularly big and Sarah looked particularly pensive. And that banana, it was big. And that bow, and let's not forget about those extra beans. He sounds worried. Do you think he sounds worried? He definitely sounds worried to me. Poor Truman. That's when Truman saw something he'd never seen before. Sarah boarding the number 11 bus going south. The bus roared away. Truman waited for Sarah to return. He waited and waited. He waited 1,000 hours, well, tortoise hours, that is, until he could wait no longer. He would go after Sarah. He would catch the number 11 south, even amid the honking and growling and the shrieking, even if it seemed impossible. Boink. I think he hit his head against the terrarium. Oh no, poor Truman. That's when he noticed the rocks, 3 rocks that had always been there. Ordinary rocks that now seemed extraordinary. Extraordinary, really. Let's count the rocks. 1, 2, 3. And the arm of the couch, and the pillow propped just right, and that tall boot, and that rug, that glorious, endless rug. Without Sarah, their home seemed vast and uncharted and unsettling. Truly unsettling. But perhaps most unsettling was that Truman could no longer see the taxis or the trash trucks or the cars or the number 11 bus. Which way was south anyways, he wondered. Now the sun hung low, just like Truman's head and his heart. But just then, look what he found. Remember the flower? And then, vroom, screech, whoosh. Up floors and under doors, Truman heard it. What was it? A bus. It was time to catch the number 11 south. Amid the honking and the growling and the shrieking, yet standing there in that ray of light, Truman felt peaceful and pensive and brave. But just as he was about to slip under the door, through that opening, barely the size of a small tortoise, what happens? You know who comes home. Sarah! She spotted him, shining like the sun. And Truman, she cried. She scooped him up and said things like, oh my goodness, and oh you, and how did you ever, and amazing. Sarah kissed her finger and touched it to his shell and tucked him back safely in his tank where he was peaceful and pensive and proud. And later, just before bedtime, she read him a story. Now, boys and girls, do you know where Sarah went? She went to school, right? And look what she did while she was at school. She made him a book. And it had his face on the front, it had his name, it had the number 11 bus on the back. I love these illustrations. They are so creative. Now Truman knew that one day soon he and his Sarah might travel south to see new sights and to hear new sounds and think new thoughts. Look, she brought him to show and tell. And you know, Truman doesn't have to be nervous or scared because he was going to do it together with his Sarah. Boys and girls, these pages at the end of a book are called the end pages. And look at what the illustrator did. She made the pattern of a tortoise shell right there on the pages. Isn't that cool? I hope you enjoyed Truman. I love this book.